Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think you can hear me. Can you hear me out there? All right. It's now May 21st, 2013, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. here at City Hall on 116 West Bridge Street, Granbury, Texas. And we're calling the council meeting to order. I want to note that councilperson Mickey Parson is not present tonight. I'd like to call upon Richard Reedy, American Legion and chaplain for the Church of Granbury, to lead us in our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and then next the Texas Pledge.
Would you pray with me? Heavenly Father, on this day and every day we bow humbly before you. Thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us, and especially for your magnificent grace. We thank you for this country which you have made a lighthouse to the world and to the leaders in this country who never make a decision without consulting you. And we pray for mercy on those leaders who totally knock themselves out for our country and making the decision that they make. We thank you for those who have served in defense of this country, and we thank you for their families who have shared in their sacrifice. We ask you to continue blessing our country and the efforts of God-fearing people wherever they may be. We ask these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
All men pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Okay.
I'd like to now call upon Joel back to our program coordinator for the Dorley Lane and Culture Education Center, and he will brief the council regarding the reimbursement of the Cultural District application to the Texas Commission on Arts. Joel?
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to give a brief information about the resubmission process for the Cultural District designation application that we will be making at the end of this month to the Texas Commission on the Arts. The last submission was made in 2011, and they asked us to reapply this year. With the addition of the Granbury Arts Alliance and then all the work being done on the Opera House, we think we've got a great application this year to give to the Texas Commission on the Arts. The Cultural District designation is no cost to the city. There's no application cost or anything like that involved. And it's a lot like the Historic District designation in that it opens up a lot of doors for additional grants and also acts for music and things like that. As you'll see, the proposed district runs all the way down Pearl Street. It includes the beach, the convention center, the new park there, all the way up to the Shanley House, the library, and Shanley Park, and then over to the Lambert Branch Park area. So it's a sizable area that we are proposing for the cultural district. We don't think we'll have any problem with them accepting those boundaries. And like I said, that will open us up for the possibility of some grants, some musicians, some traveling art shows, and anything that the state offers through their cultural district program. Any questions?
Council? Thank you, Joel.
Thank y'all.
Before we get into the consent items here, I'd like to first take an opportunity to commend all of our citizens out there, and also our first responders to the county, the city, and also our city employees. The citizens did a great job. They did this in coming together to help all of those who were affected with this disaster in our community. And I want to commend all those folks out there, especially our volunteer fire department, our police department. They were on the scene at the beginning, and they were putting their lives at risk, not knowing the extent of the situation. They didn't know if there were fires out there. They didn't know if there were dogs out there that was going to bite them. They didn't know what they were faced with when they went into this disaster out there. So my hat's off to those people that went out there first, our police department, our fire department, and all the EMS people that went out there. Also want to commend on every one of the employees at the City Hall. They stepped up by taking on extra duties while they were still doing their normal duties, of their everyday duties that they do the day-to-day. So I want to commend all those folks. We set up an information center out here in City Hall, and we had several people that answered the phones that we set up out here, and they did a great job in doing so. So I want to commend those folks also. And I'd also like to thank our service departments, for all the work that they did. The service departments that went out there and spent their time out there with their machinery and stuff like that, and all the way to the airport service department. Our airport, they acted in such a professional manner when the governor came in. I mean, it was just amazing. And everything clicked out there. So every department deserves a big pat on the back there. And also I'd like to thank everyone for their professionalism, because as it looked, a lot of the people outside looking in said it looked as though we had done this many times before, but we hadn't, and we hope we don't have to do it as many more times. But all the media people, all the people from outside, all the people from different communities commended us on a well-organized procedure in a disaster such as this. I also had several comments from the media and the neighboring communities about the fact that we loaded them up on buses, and after the disaster, took them in there and let the media go in there and take a look at things and bring them back out. And as I talked to some of the media folks, they said that is something that they'd never seen that happen before. They had to. They had to do things, they had to beg, they had to try to sneak into things like that, and the city of Granbury stepped up there and introduced a new process probably, because we took them in there and brought them back out, and they thought that was something, that was great. So there again, that was something that Granbury did, and I want to thank everybody for it. So with that, I want to thank everybody, and my sincere thanks to everyone for once again making Granbury a great and safe place to live. So thanks again, citizens and employees. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the council meeting of May 7th, 2013. Council, you've had a chance to look at the minutes. Is there any changes or comments on the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the council minutes of May 7th, 2013.
I so move.
Got a motion by Councilman Perkle, second by Mr. Couch. Is there any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Those council meeting minutes approved. We'll next move into the deliberation agenda and discuss the status of the Opera House redevelopment project and consider and approve any recommendations from the Opera House redevelopment committee. We'll first call upon Wayne and then probably Bill Scott. As you can see out there, there's been some really good progress, and I think Bill Scott is excited about the time frame there. I think we're ahead of schedule, and everybody can see a big hole out there, and that's pretty exciting for all the citizens also. So Wayne?
Well, I would just say that the Opera House Committee did meet today, and we were able to discuss a lot of real progress. We're real pleased with what is going forward. We're still working through the numbers, and we're very close to having that finalized. But I would just turn it over to Bill Scott and let him discuss the process.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilman.
There we go.
We got some pictures tonight. We sent down several progress photos for you to see. This is the taking down the back wall, stone by stone. It's palletized on the yard, and some of it's back in the city's hand. There's the completed demolition of the back wall. While we've been working at the basement excavation, we've also been tearing up the slab to get the elevator pits, some spot footings, and underground plumbing going. This is a picture of the inside of the theater up against kind of the north wall. This is a pier drilling rig that we've punched all the piers and all the soil retention systems. We're complete with 100% complete with the piers. And that's a section of your 120-something-year-old wall, about 18 inches thick at the top and 22 or so inches thick at the bottom, sitting on a footing. You know, these days we pour footings with concrete and rebar, reinforcing steel in them. 120 years ago, they layered in 4 to 5 layers of 8-inch thick stone that these walls would bear on. And as you can see, there wasn't a lot of movement, but real thick footings, stone footings with this big wall, about 3 widths wide. This is a picture of the existing roof and the structural attachments that have been done that secured the existing roof to the existing wall. Before we took the wall down, this had to be done so the roof wouldn't fly off in an event like you have some high winds down here occasionally. This is a picture of us digging the tunnel, the basement wall, and it's, I say us, but it's a teamwork thing with us and the city forces. That's a city-owned excavator digging a 9-foot hole about 8 foot inside the building and going about 30 feet out. So this is where we've cut the costs for the construction by utilizing some of the city's own forces and equipment. Several examples of that. Here's another shot looking outside the building at that same excavator. Excuse me. This shot was yesterday. The excavation was done. The wall footings are those pieces of boards, spot footings in the middle of the progress. The city inspected that footing this afternoon, and we're going to pour concrete in it tomorrow. Thursday morning we'll start on the wall forms that will basically be the walls of the basement. So I think that's it. We're coming along. We're a little ahead of schedule. The walls come down a little easier than we anticipated. The soil retention has gone in a little easier than we thought, and the excavation with the city's help has gone very smooth. So we're where we're at, trying to get out of that hole with concrete as soon as possible and save money and time. So we feel like we're in pretty good shape schedule-wise. That's about it.
I would say that to compliment Bill, Scott, and his people, we have taken that wall down, and we've probably gone through as about a high winds as we're going to get, and the structure held. Okay, so this man knows what he's doing. He's taken down a 140-year building, and it went through what it went through last week, and there was no problem. So I have to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
What did you do with the topsoil, what are you doing with the soil that you're digging out of
The soil?
yes?
Well, several things. It's a cohesive soil, so you have to bench it to properly comply with OSHA excavation laws. Where you can't bench it is close to the footings of the existing buildings that are, old as Wayne just said. You can tell, or you can look in that picture, and it's called a beam and plate shoring system. It retains the earth from moving on a 90-degree
Yeah, it's all there.
excavation like that. It's there's several ways to retain soil. That is not only appropriate for our job, but it's also the least costly. So it worked out pretty well for us and the city to use that system. So we installed it ourselves, basically.
Bill, I noticed on the first slide you had tarps, looks like over the people's building next to us. If you're facing the back of it on the left,
Yes, sir.
are you covering them all up, or how are you doing that to keep the dust off of them?
Well, we're have some limited dust control with water hoses. Basically, what's been done back behind the nutshell in the St. Helens building was remove their existing porch and structural elements and some of their stuff. The coffee house next door on the other side is got a couple of condensing units that we worry about. We've talked to them Monday and Friday about relocating those units. We've budgeted basically to repair and replace those units, just in anticipation of something going wrong with them. Dust control and then taking care of your neighbors' properties is kind of we're focusing on. We haven't heard yet back from the owner of the coffee shop if it's okay to relocate those condensers, but we're.
It's already in the budget, oh, you said?
Sir?
You said it's already in the budget?
We plan to, they're so close, we'll probably having to move them for scaffold systems that we'll use when we're putting the veneer on. We're thinking, well, we're gonna have to move them, and they're, you know, about $1,000 a pop, so we said we'll probably be replacing them. And we didn't want to be in a position of, subjecting that equipment to what we're going through without, you know, taking care of your neighbors, basically.
Are you gonna have to replace the shed on that one too, or just the other two?
We believe there's an agreement to replace some roof structure and 3 or 4 or 5 columns and beams. And we want to try and use some of the demolished stone to wrap those columns. We've got an architect thinking about what might work there.
Who are we talking about?
Sir?
Who are you talking about?
Nutshell and St. Helens back porch.
Are you gonna do them all down that way?
No,
Right?
sir. Well, no, sir. I think the commitment is to those two.
I thought our commitment was just to replace the roof. If we took it down, we put it back up. I didn't know we was rocking it.
Well, I don't know that I can speak to that. Nothing's set in stone yet.
We were talking about putting a rock
All the way up? Yeah. Are we gonna do the other neighbor that way too?
Well, the other neighbor, St. Helens,
No. Coffee grinder.
no, we had to take these two down because of where the building was going to be located. We didn't have to take the other shed down. Because of location.
I just think that we're, gotta be real careful, because if I own a building there and you're fixing Dolly and mine all up, and you're putting a plastic cover over my building, but you're gonna build them a new building, I don't even know who owns the building, to be honest with you. I think it's maybe people out of Amarillo.
We do. They're out of Lubbock.
Lubbock, okay.
We've met them both and have written agreements to access their roofs. We secured those before we went and did any of the pointing work on the elevations above their roof. Made sure that, hey, we told them, stepped them through what we were gonna do, the process, and basically had an agreement that we signed and they signed that said, you know, this is what we're doing. Y'all are granting us privilege to get on your building.
What I'm getting at, Bill, if we rock the St. Helen in a nutshell, then wouldn't it look better if it's all rock down through there?
Well,
I think they all have a porch, do they?
3 of them do.
Well, yeah, but the reason we did that is because we'll have an open area right there behind the nutshell that we want to look nicer. We're also gonna put some lattice up so that it basically looks nice compared to the rest of the building. That was,
We don't have an open space there, Wayne, where the coffee grinder is? We're gonna have a wall between them and the parking lot?
he has a small porch and I believe
but the key is we didn't take theirs down, okay? We took the other two down because of the location of it. We had to take
So
it.
now we're gonna put them a new roof up, we're gonna rock the columns, and now just start lattice. Is there anything else we're gonna do for them people? No electrical or anything like that?
Well, they already have electrical. We're gonna make sure the drainage flows properly. Because we're just gonna replace the
drainage, yeah.
But that's something we also wanna make sure we do, because we gotta make sure it comes off the roof
Yeah,
properly too.
we want to make sure our drainage, everybody's drainage drains away from your new building.
I think everybody looking, including the owners of the building, did not think that that particular shed looked appropriate.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So,
And the downspouts, I said something to your foreman about those, he said he's gonna reroute them or something.
yeah.
I
We've
mean, yeah, I
done,
agree with, I'm not arguing with that point. All the thing I'm saying is that I don't want us to turn around and spend as much on those 2 sheds we are that outside of the Opera House.
No.
I don't think our budget would be that high.
A tin roof, and we already have the rock, so there is no cost there, so the cost is minimal. I mean, we can, and some lattice, I can't imagine, I don't know what the cost is, but it's pretty.
I think less than, $3,000 to $5,000 is nothing.
For all of it,
Yes, sir.
if that, I mean, the rock, I mean, all the cost we're gonna have is really keep putting up the rock.
It'll look a lot nicer.
But, Yeah, oh,
Well,
absolutely.
it's a street side view, you're right. It's,
Good side view, and it's just a longer-term view than just saying we're not gonna do something like that.
I just don't want us getting a deal where a year from now or 2 years from now, they come back and say, well, you did this for them, but you didn't do it for us. We'll give them your cell number, Bill. No,
Don't give Wayne.
Yeah, fine. I'm responsible for that.
yeah. I think it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Council, any more question or discussion for Bill? Thank you, Bill.
When's he gonna be through? Before Christmas? Good.
All right.
It's great.
With no action taken for that item, we'll move on to the next item. The next item is to consider and review approval of the City of Granbury fund balance policy and adopt a resolution providing for the said fund balance policy. Get Ms. Gregory up here to talk a little bit about that.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager. The current fund balance policy was approved in 2010. We have reviewed this policy and updated the fund balance definition section of this policy as defined by Gatsby number 54. We also made sure, I wanted to just mention that this is regarding the general fund balance policy, which is in the following, classified in the following sections: non-spendable, restricted, committed, assigned, and unassigned. And the city, the financial consideration is that the city shall maintain an unassigned fund balance of not less than 25% of the general fund budgeted expenditures. And this is consistent with our budgetary policy as well. So at this time, we recommend approval and of this policy.
Council, any questions for Ms. Gregory? Thank you. Your staff there, though. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the resolution providing for the said fund balance policy.
So moved.
We got a motion by Councilman Allen. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Couch. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. That fund balance is approved. The next one is to consider, review, and approval of the City of Granbury investment policy and adopt a resolution providing for the said investment policy. Ms. Gregory, you want to enlighten us on that one?
Under the Texas Public Funds Investment Act, we are required to review this policy annually. This has to be a written policy, and that's what we are doing here. At this time, there is no change to this document from last year. We had, the investment committee had reviewed the policy and recommends approval.
Council, any questions? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adopt a resolution providing for the said investment policy.
I move we do that.
We got a motion by Mr. Perkle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Allen. No more discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. That approves. Thank you, Amy. The next item is to discuss and consider a legal service agreement with the law offices of Tracy S. Bush and Paul D. Hyde, PLLC, to serve as the city attorney. I'm going to call upon our attorney, Mr. Stewart, to enlighten us a little bit on this. And counsel, you had a handout here to, and we've also discussed the agreement back in the executive session, so you've got a handout now describing all those services. And I believe we've also got some folks out there that will answer some questions for us. So, Stewart?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Council, as you remember, about a month ago, I approached you with an exciting opportunity to, I think, enhance the legal services that the city is getting, as well as to save you some money. And we negotiated that back and forth. And the agreement you have in front of you, I'm asking you to review and to sign off on, is a legal services agreement with the law offices of Bush and Hyde. And Mr. Hyde is here tonight. Actually, if you have questions for him, he's on the front row there. And essentially what will happen is, as we've discussed, and I'll just inform the public now, I would continue to be the city attorney, but the city will pay a flat monthly fee to the firm, and I'll be an employee of the firm, which will help you cut your costs. But I'll still come to all your council meetings, and I'll still attend all of your hearings and anything else you need. I'll be available for consultation via phone or
agreement. It's in your packets, and I'm asking you to pass it. I'll answer any questions if anybody's got any questions.
Council?
I have a couple,
Councilman Allen?
Jared, thank you. It is 1-year term, but I do understand you can get out with a 30-day written notice and so can wait, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and then over in paragraph 6, let's say that we use Wayne Olson, but we need you to back him up just like you have in the past when we hired outside counsel. That's no additional charge to the city, is that correct, if it's you?
That's correct.
Okay.
Or if it's anybody in the
Big word?
firm. Anybody in your firm.
Yeah, okay. But if you took it on, say we didn't hire Wayne, but we hired your firm, it'd be $175 an hour.
For litigation only.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, yeah, I only got 2 more. One thing on here, your insurance that you're getting now and the match that we're doing with you on all our employees, that goes away,
That's correct.
okay? Where is there an insurance policy to protect the city on here? Let's say your firm goes out and they cause us to get sued.
Well, I guess
Do y'all have insurance?
Yes. Yeah, the firm has liability.
Yeah, covered. Yes, I can address that, Mr. Allen. My firm does have a.
Sir, if you could go ahead and speak,
Okay.
state your name and your address for the council, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My name is Paul Hyde. My home address is 3203 Crossbridge Circle, Granbury, and my law office is located on 1514 Crossland Road, just down the street here, across from the Law Enforcement Center, sir. And yes, my law office, we maintain 2 offices, one here in Granbury and one in Mansfield as well, and we do have a malpractice insurance policy to cover anything that happens.
What's the limit on it, Mr. Hyde?
I believe it's $2 million.
Now I gotta go back and ask counsel, is that standard?
It's standard for lawyers to have malpractice insurance.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, it's a $2
Standard
million
for the city.
usually what,
Probably high.
yeah, usually it's $1 million in it.
Yeah.
That we have to deal, yeah.
And I'd be happy to provide the council with the exact policy, absolutely, without,
You'll just put us on as a binder on the thing, as a writer or what?
that's correct. And it's not a requirement that a law firm have malpractice insurance. Many law firms do not, but we have right from the very beginning since we opened.
That's all my questions, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Council, any more questions? I've got one that I have noted here, and it looks like either Stewart or somebody went out and negotiated, because at one time we were talking about $200 per hour for an outside, and you got it down to $175, I guess, right?
I told you originally that I would talk to the firm about
Yep.
getting you the best rate I could get you for your litigation services, and that's the number. It's actually $15 an hour cheaper than we had talked about, $25.
25. Council, any further questions for Mr. Hyde or Stewart? Thank you, Mr. Hyde.
Thank you.
With that, council, I'll entertain a motion to accept the legal service agreement with the law office of Tracy B. Bush and Paul D. Hyde, PLLC, to serve as the city attorney. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion for Mr. Perkle. Do I have a second? I'll make a second. We got a second, the first. Any more discussion, council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. That agreement passes. At this time, the city council, now I declare that the city council is convened into open session and that all members are present, but Mickey Parson and Mayor Pratt are not present. The city will now go into closed session pursuant to the provisions of Texas Government Code in accordance with authorities contained in the following section, 551.0171, and also 551.087, Economic Development. We shall return. At this time, there was no action taken in executive session. If there's no further discussion, council is adjourned.